Hi, I'm Katie Hauser. I'm a pre-vet student at Purdue University, where I'm also a dairy club officer. This summer, I've been working with Purdue Extension, Perry County, and we've been doing a series of videos to educate people during these challenging times. So today, I'm here with Kaylin Peter. She's a fourth-generation farmer's daughter, and she's going to teach us about her dairy, how the dairy industry works, and we're going to even take a farm tour with her later in a later video. So, Kaylin, how are you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing pretty well. So, I want to ask you, how long have you guys had the Peter Dairy? Who started it?
So about 90 years or so, my great-grandpa started the Peter Dairy business here in Polk City, Indiana. And today, my dad, Mike Peter, and my grandpa, Bill Peter, are still running the farm.
Awesome. That's really cool that your dad and grandpa can still do that together. So, I want to ask you, what kind of dairy operation is your farm? What do you guys do?
So on our dairy farm operation, we milk cows and sell dairy products to the DFA. And we also sell our young steers for beef products.
Oh, great. So you're making use of everything. You're really sustainable, and that's really great. So I'm excited to learn about your farm. Let's go and see the tour, and we're going to play the video next. First, we have to feed the dairy cows. So what do you feed your dairy cows?
So on the farm, to produce good quality milk, it takes a mix of a lot of ingredients and feeds that we feed our milk cows twice a day. So what we put our feed in is this TMR mixer. And TMR stands for Total Mixed Ration. It combines the feed well to be fed to our cows. So I can show you what all we put in the mixer.
So Kaylin, what do you put in your feed to feed your cows?
So to produce the good quality milk that we want to produce, it takes a good balanced diet. And that balanced diet for our cows include a lot of high energy protein ingredients. So to provide that, a lot of corn and hay and alfalfa is needed to produce what the cows need. So what we put in our TMR mixer includes your hay, alfalfa hay, cottonseed, which is the white, distiller's grain that we mix ourselves, and also corn silage, which you will see in the later video.
This is how the feed is put into the TMR mixer. So how do you know how much of which type of feed you need to put in there to feed your cows?
Yeah, so the TMR mixer has a scale, so we weigh each feed that goes into our TMR mixer. So certain things are heavier than others, and that determines how much weight is put in to create this ration. So here's a scale, and as my dad's filling it up with certain feeds, the scale's going up, and we put it into the TMR mixer.
After all the grain is added, it's time to add the alfalfa hay and molasses to make it taste good. The next step is to add corn silage. It's a good source of forage that has been fermented underneath those tarps for cows to eat. While you've been watching all the ingredients being added, the TMR mixer is stirring them all together. While Kaylin's dad is getting ready to feed the dairy cows, we decided to go feed the young heifers. Here's Kaylin giving them all their mix of feed. So what happens when a calf is born? What's the cycle look like on your farm?
Yeah, so basically behind me we have 6-month-old heifers. Our steers have already been sold off to the market to be sold for beef product. So basically when a calf is born, it's with its mother for about 12 hours. In that 12 hours, it drinks from its mother, gets colostrum, and we make sure it's healthy before we take it away. We have to take them away because we need that mother's milk to nurture our bodies with dairy products and to sell our products to the community so you guys have dairy product to consume. So basically when we take that calf away, we put them with the other calves that have been born. So we keep our calves in a long barn in individual pens, and there they get fed, they get nurtured, they get bedding, they're comfortable, and they're with other calves. And there they are raised until they are about a month old, or when they're old enough to eat grain. So when they eat grain, they get divided up into steers and heifers. So a steer is a bull calf that has been castrated, and a heifer are the cows you see here that have tags. And those we will keep to raise and be put on our milk line where they are milked for our milk dairy product.
Here Mike is using the tractor and the TMR mixer to put all the feed in the manger for the cows to come up and eat. These ladies were happy to have some food. Now since the cows are fed, it's time to prepare to milk.
So now they are going into the holding pen where they will be milked.
These ladies know exactly what they're doing. So now that the cows are in the holding pen, what happens when they are milked? What do you do?
So after they're in the holding pen, we will open up these two doors and cows are going to fill each side of me here. We have 4 on each side, and this is where they are going to become milked. So like I said earlier, it's really important that we keep our milk clean and sterile. So this is why we use, here is a bleach solution that we use to sterilize their teats in the area around their udders before they are milked. And then after they're milked, we dip their teeth in this solution. So this just prevents them from getting any bacteria or any harmful anything that might harm the milk or infect their mammary glands out in their pastures, whatever. So basically when they come in here to get milked, we put on what we call, I guess, the milkers or the suction split milks them. So here we have our milkers, and they'll just go on basically like this, and whenever we turn the milkers on, the cow will become milked.
Before we milk, it's important to sanitize the pipes and the cow's teats. Now that the cow's udder is clean, milk is collected for testing and the milkers are placed on each teat. Here you can see the milk going through the pipes and going into the bulk tank in the milk house. The milk will be pasteurized after it is picked up by the milk truck and taken to the creamery. Lastly, an iodine solution is used to dip their teats to prevent infection. All done. Now the gates are open and the cows leave and go back into the lot. So after you milk the cows, where does the milk go?
So after the cows are being milked in the milk parlor, it comes into this room where it goes through pipes and gets dumped into this milk cooler. So this milk cooler is where our milk is stored until our milkman comes about once a day to be put into the tank where it is shipped off where their milk distributing company is. So it's really important that our pipes stay clean and sterilized so that our milk does not become infected or get bacteria or any growth in it that will possibly contaminate our milk. So this is where we clean our milk pipes so that it is ready to go before we milk.
So who do we have here, Kaylin?
So here we have a group of heifers that are bred. These heifers are due to calve about this fall, late winter.
After those cows calve after being pregnant for 9 months, the cycle begins again.
The dairy industry is more than a career for my family. The farm has been in the family for 4 generations, and it is a blessing we get to continue the diligent work serving our community every single day. To run any agriculture operation is a difficult job, and it's something not very many people are able to do. The job is ever-changing, uncertain, and physically demanding, yet my family chooses it every day. To work day in and day out, feeding, milking, and caring for our cattle is a task that is rewarding to our family and ultimately the world. To feed the world with healthy dairy products is our purpose, and we carry that purpose proudly. This lifestyle and passion of running a dairy operation is one of the greatest opportunities I'll ever experience in my lifetime. It has opened my eyes to the many ways we as humans can be caretakers of God's creation, and the many ways we can serve others through the sweat and handiwork poured into the task of running a farm. I'm thankful for all farmers that choose this career, especially my dad and grandpa. I'll forever be grateful for our dairy farm and will always recall the important meaning of what it takes to be a farmer.